what that means. Gonna head out to the beach, gonna do some beachy things. It's summertime, feels just right. Gonna gather all my friends and we'll party through the night. Summertime, I love it. The loving in the summertime. Summertime, I love it. My baby, why can't you be mine? Summertime, and I just can't wait. Gonna call you on the phone, gonna take you on a date. It's summertime, and I hope you like steak. Gonna take you to a restaurant and eat it up the lake. It's summertime, I love it. The loving in the summertime. It's the summertime. Summertime, I love it. Well, baby, why can't you be mine? It's summertime.
Welcome, everybody. It is right before SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer, and we are here, the biggest pre-party to the biggest party of the summer. It's the Mega Powers Radio SummerSlam pre-show. Here we have hosts from Keeping Kayfabe as well as Smark Out Moments Smack Talk, who are going to join together for, well, I guess we can't say one night only. We've done this a few times now, but we're going to be giving you our predictions and our thoughts about what's going to be happening at tonight's WWE SummerSlam pay-per-view event. I'll be your lead host this evening, Mike Paden, lead host of Keeping Kayfabe, as well as a member of so many projects I can't even begin to get into them right now. Joined by my side as someone else who's involved with way too many projects trying to get into, lead host of Smack Talk, Anthony Mango. Anthony, what's shaking, dude?
Not much going on. Excited for SummerSlam.
I think we're all excited for SummerSlam. Also joining us, another man, once again, who has a million projects, host of I Got Gameplay here on Mega Powers Radio, also joining us for many other shows, Michael Burhan. What's shaking, dude?
Oh, I'm good. I'm basically sitting here with a bunch of kids sleeping. No, that just sounds weird. But yeah, I'm doing great, man. I can't wait for SummerSlam. It's looking good in the card. And there's loads of stuff that's going on. If you guys checked into the SummerSlam Fan Access, they did a 2K14 panel, and Ric Flair apparently went a bit apeshit.
I was watching that earlier today, actually. Really funny. Really funny stuff. By the way, as far as sleeping with kids, Michael Jackson did it, and Michael Jackson's okay by me. So, also a host here on Mega Powers Radio, the Dace Man Show host, Chris Dace. What's shaking, Dace Man?
Hey. Nothing. I can't shake. I got a laptop on my lap.
Make sure you don't have it on your genitals.
So I have to ask you, WWE has their SummerSlam pre-show going as well. They call it their kickoff. You know who's going to be on that show. So how good do you think that show is going to be? Give me a star rating.
5 star pre-show.
Just
shrug.
Had to get that joke out of the way early. We also got joining us YouTube legend Spood Beast, Braeden Mayhew. What's shaking, dude?
Oh, surely you jest. But despite having a few aches and pains and feeling like I'm 90 for whatever reason today, and we got SummerSlam coming, and it's going to be I think it's going to be a pretty good pay-per-view. We got a solid card lined up for tonight. I think everybody's fairly excited for it. That's a step in the right direction if you want to have anticipation for your shows. Certainly, I'm sure you'd agree, Paden. How are you doing tonight, by the way?
Someone asked me. You're so nice, Braeden. I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited for SummerSlam. Contrary to what you guys had a little bit of a debate on Smack Talk a couple weeks ago, I couldn't tell you exactly what episode. I'm sure Anthony will give a good plug for it, about whether SummerSlam was still the second pay-per-view of the year. To me, it is. And it's probably because it's just promoted as such, but it's just fun. It's this nice, big feel pay-per-view that we get to have right in the middle of the summer. It's always in L.A., which I've never gotten to go to L.A., but I want to. I was actually doing some random research today about the Hollywood sign. I don't know how I got into it. You ever get one of those just random Wikipedia/other biographical sites looking at things? I was researching the Hollywood sign. That was my Sunday.
Give me a little bit of credit. I actually spent not that long ago researching fonts of the Hollywood sign, so I think I got to be beat there.
The font?
To find an actual information, I'm finding just the font.
And last but certainly not least, we have joining us also from across the pond. We got a bit of British flavor going on here. Shaun Walker, what's shaking, dude?
Not a lot, mate. Not a lot. Just, the other half of the British invasion with my man, Mike Burhan.
Woo! Yeah, apart from the fact we don't have a plane on our Titantron.
Yeah.
And I'm the talented one, just so we know.
Still more than what TNA's got.
Yeah. That makes you Magnus. You're banging Mickey James. So.
Sweet. I can get down with that.
Writing a couple things down here. All right, so we got a couple bits of business we got to go down here. These predictions are actually going to be more important than the standard prediction shows we're doing because, as some of you may know, we're running a little bit of a fantasy league between ourselves here. And tonight's predictions is going to give the person who has the most predictions right a special superpower, I guess we can call it, which we're going to be calling the Fantasy League Shake-Up. It's time to shake things up again. Basically, whoever gets the most predictions right tonight, and it's not exactly that. There's a point system. It's complicated. I'm not going to bore you with all those rules. But whoever gets the most points from getting the right predictions tonight is going to have the power to swap any two people, whether it be a person from their team and somebody else's, or even just two people from completely different teams, between each other. Now, this could be used really strategically, so we can see things like CM Punk traded for, I don't know, who's a funny number, fifth place we got right now? Who's Miguel's number 5? Antonio Cesaro? That's actually a pretty good one. That's not bad. But more likely we could see one of the Usos, traded for John Cena because they're both in a number 1 spot.
I'll cry. I would cry in my bed sheets.
So yeah, that'll be going down. So without further ado, I say we start running down the SummerSlam card and telling you what we got to think about it. If you, the listener, would like to call in and tell us what you think about what's going on tonight, feel free to call in at any time. Area code 760-512-7247. That's area code 760-512-7247. Call in. Give us your predictions. Tell us what you think is going to happen on the show tonight, who you're excited to see, who you're not excited to see, maybe even, whatever the heck else is on your mind. This is an open forum show a little bit, even though we're talking about SummerSlam. If you got a wrestling-related story you want to tell us, share it with us. We'd love to hear it. All right, fellas. First match that we got here is the pre-show match that WWE will be having. Rob Van Dam will be challenging Dean Ambrose for the United States title, and this sort of was just thrown together. We had a 20-man battle royal on Raw that Rob Van Dam won to get him the number 1 contendership for it. No real story being built between the two, but I think it has potential to be a great match. Rob Van Dam, of course, one of the most unique and gifted athletes working right now. Dean Ambrose, really bright up-and-comer, current United States champion, hasn't been doing a lot with it, so you have to kind of wonder what's the likelihood of him continuing to be a strong champion if he hasn't been that strong so far. I'm really on the fence about this one, so I'm going to pass around to you guys, see what you got to say about it. We'll start with Dace. What do you think about this match?
I think, shrug, that Rob Van Dam is unfortunately going to lose to Dean Ambrose because you cannot justify him as a U.S. championship. That is not justice.
Oh, that's a shame.
I know. It breaks my heart to say it, but I think, when it's a cop versus a pothead, the Shield's going to win.
Oh, goodness gracious. Mr. Burhan, your thoughts for Rob Van Dam versus Dean Ambrose tonight?
I'm going with Dean Ambrose as well, because as far as I'm concerned in terms of Rob Van Dam, he's not being brought back to have a title put on him. And if he does, I would be extremely surprised. I think they've got a lot of faith in Ambrose, probably not in the entire Shield. If Van Dam does win, there has been a rumor that he could have the match cost, and he'll basically probably win by DQ and then have the Big Show and Mark Henry do a run-in so that they can actually get a match for the Shield on the card later on. But for now, I'm going with Ambrose. I think Ambrose, he's kind of looking strong with it. The problem, I believe, with him is more so booking, which is the problem with the mid-card as a whole. You know, they're not really focusing on any mid-card feuds. They're not creating any stories. They're just throwing it out there and seeing what sticks.
You're not wrong there, man. Both mid-card titles, the United States and the Intercontinental, have just been on a fast track to nowhere, seemingly for the last few years. Really, every once in a while there would be this little glimmer of hope, like when Cody Rhodes brought out the old-fashioned Intercontinental title, or even when Curtis Axel just won the Intercontinental title. It was treated like a big deal. But ever since then, he hasn't done much, and Dean Ambrose certainly has done absolutely nothing with this United States title. And the same could be said for the tag titles around Reigns and Rollins as well.
But the problem is, as I said, they've got stars. They have talent. They could have even done something with Darren Young. He's just come out. They could have literally put something together between him and Curtis Axel in terms of storyline. I'm not saying use his homosexuality as a storyline, but have something put together in terms of them. He's getting a lot of good buzz at the moment. Fans are rallying behind him. There shouldn't be an issue with this. And in terms of, they've got tons of guys in the mid-card they could literally do something with, put together a nice little story, and add it in. They could have even added Curtis Axel into the whole Rhodes versus Sandow feud. maybe put a title in there, something that could, if Sandow wins it, could have given him that mid-card push before he goes to the World Heavyweight Championship, and give him a bit more meaning. There's a load of things they could have done, but at the moment they're just choosing just to segue it onto someone else and do a battle royal or just put a match together, which is impromptu, instead of focusing on building these divisions up. And it's really, I know the WWE keep going on about, they need to focus on the main events. That's fair enough, but you have this core talent there that you can easily elevate with these championships and bring up to a certain level, and instead you just choose to fob it off.
Shaun, your thoughts on RVD versus Ambrose?
I reckon the winner's going to be RVD, and I reckon we're going to see the Shield back at NXT until they have something for them. I don't know, something to do with the Wyatt family or something along those lines maybe, but I don't see the Shield being on television much.
That's a ballsy choice, but I got to say that might not be the worst thing, because we really gotten an overload of the Shield when we first got exposed to them really quickly. These three guys were just in our face. Maybe not have them only there exclusively, but keep them honing their craft there before they bring them back and shove them in our faces again. Might not be the worst idea in the world. And also you're the first person to pick RVD, which I think is kind of cool, and I'll get to my pick in a second. But Tony Mango, your thoughts for this match?
All right, if you guys watched Smack Talk, you would hear me saying that RVD is going to win the championship. However, I'm actually going to change my mind here. I was thinking about it overnight, and I think the fact that they haven't announced the tag team championship match, and there are these rumors that they're going to do something screwy that'll affect that, and they'll end up announcing that later on, I think what we're going to see here is RVD should win the match, but the Shield's going to attack him. And he will win the match by disqualification or something like that, because he won't win the title. And then we're going to get the tag team match announced, and they'll drop the tag team titles. RVD will beat Dean Ambrose for the championship at Night of Champions. So as far as predictions go for the title, it's going to stay on Dean Ambrose, but the match is going to be won by RVD by disqualification.
All right, so I'm writing in RVD for you.
Yep.
I'm just going to go ahead and say this now. That's actually my exact thought process for this. I'm putting RVD as the winner of this match, not necessarily because I think he's going to win the title, but I think he's going to end up winning this by disqualification in some manner to extend this feud a little bit further, because it's just starting. I wouldn't be completely shocked if he wins the title. I actually think putting the U.S. title over onto Rob Van Dam is not a bad idea. There's actually an article I have over on the Keeping Kayfabe site where I'm talking about future champions, and I actually had Rob Van Dam pegged as a future Intercontinental champion. But the same reasoning can be applied here for the United States title, and the reason for that is put it on someone who has a lot of experience on them, someone with a really big name, and it should help put a little bit more shine onto that title. Similar to when they needed to boost the Intercontinental title up a little bit, and they would put it around someone like Chris Jericho. That's what they could do with a guy like Rob Van Dam, and I think that's one of the best situations they could do with this. We got one more here. Braeden, what's your thoughts for this match?
So as far as the United States title match, Dean Ambrose defending against the whole effing pre-show, I'm going with Ambrose to win the title, to retain the championship, because he hasn't had a pay-per-view title defense since that one against Kane a couple months ago, where that was a no finish. So they really going to do another no finish on top of that. And if Van Dam wins the title, that is a pretty useless United States title reign in the long run. And it's been a problem with the past, 3, even 4 United States champions. I don't think there's been a good U.S. title reign since Dolph Ziggler back in 2011. They win the title, have purpose for a month, and then they just kind of flounder around with the championship around their waist. And even if they hold it for 200-some days, there's no real purpose to any of the championship reign. They're just kind of there, and then eventually they drop it to somebody else.
Isn't that what Cesaro had? He had an extremely long reign, and it was completely nothing.
Yeah, it's exactly what Antonio Cesaro had. There was absolutely no purpose. It started off strong for the first month or two, and quickly he just kind of walked around with the championship around his waist. And that's kind of what Ambrose, and even as you mentioned earlier, Paden, the Shield are doing as a whole right now with all 3 of the titles. So I think it's too early to take it off of him, and I think he needs this, even though it's not on the pay-per-view itself, I think he needs a solid victory over somebody who's established to retain the title. So for that reason, I'm going for him to retain the championship. Whether by faulty means or not, I think he's going to at least get the pin.
Something that Tony brought up, I just want to throw it there as a quick conversation piece. It's not confirmed, but do you think that we are going to end up seeing tonight a tag match between Mark Henry and Big Show against the other two members of the Shield, Rollins and Reigns, for the titles or not? But just do you think this is something that's going to be thrown on last minute, or is there something that maybe just will be involved in this matchup? Or how do you think this might play out tonight? Anyone?
I hope not. I really hope not. That's really tacking something on last minute, isn't it? I do not like when they do that. So, and especially if it's going to be a squash, I just say keep it off the card. I hope not for my sake.
I would rather just see a nice little back and forth going on from them, but it looks like they're probably going to do it where it comes to having the Shield jump him and then having the other guys come in and turn it into a three-man match. If that's what happens, I will probably be crying my pillow tonight.
I'm actually hoping that they actually do a tag team match on the card, because this card is just very lackluster in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's only two matches I'm actually looking forward to on this card.
And I'm guessing that's Brock, Punk, and Cena, Bryan?
Yeah.
So you don't care about Bray Wyatt?
No.
You don't care about
Rhodes
Brie against
Sandow?
Natalya?
Who?
Come on, man. That match just has Total Divas ratings all over it.
They should just have the match on Total Divas. I'll be happy with that. Then I won't have to watch it.
So let's actually transition over into the next match that I have written down here. It is Natalya versus Brie Bella. And this is a match between these two divas. I said they're both people who are stars on WWE's Total Diva show over on the E! Network, or as our friend of the channel, Clint Davis, called it, the gay channel.
Now featuring Darren Young.
This whole thing, oh gosh. The thing that actually started this whole segment, besides being on that show, I remember, was when the Bellas interrupted a match that Natalya was in, where one of them came out doing that quack, quack, natty, quack, quack, and blowing into the kazoo type thing. Oh my god, that was...
Don't fucking remind me of that.
I felt his brain explode at that whole mark.
I'm going to hang myself now that you brought that up.
We had a couple of backstage segments where the girls slapped each other, whatever, and I guess the whole gimmick behind this thing is that we're going to have all the other divas at ringside. So we're going to have Eva Marie and Nikki Bella and the Funkadactyls and whoever else decides to show up. Yeah, that's that match. So let's go around the horn and get the predictions for it. We'll start with Braeden on this one. Braeden, your thoughts of this divas match?
Well, I know I'm looking forward to it. I mean, so much on the line here, right? But, I mean, there was more to the build than just that last little segment they had on Raw. More than just the, oh, you slapped me, so I'm going to slap you thing. There was that it. Was that the only thing building up to this other than the reality show giving it purpose on the card? I pick Natalya to win. Mainly because I think she might, because of the reality show, get some sort of a face push out of it towards the title. I don't know if she's going to necessarily win it, but I think this could be the start of a momentum change for her, rather than just like losing all the time on television or teaming with Kali. Might be the beginning of something.
Shaun?
I reckon Nikki's going to win.
Really? Why is that?
Twin magic, mate. Twin magic.
Ooh, okay. She will be at ringside, so that's definitely a possibility. Burhan, your thoughts?
I don't really care about this match. If I have to pick anyone, it's probably going to be Natty. I'm probably going to end up just like going for a big long piss when this match happens.
Do you have control over how long your pisses are?
Yes. I'll just savor it all up until my kidneys hurt, and I'll be like, okay, the match has come.
like Friday afternoon, oh, there's going to be a Divas match on Sunday. I better hold my piss now.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing.
You're really taking a piss out of this match, aren't you?
Exactly.
All right, Dace, your thoughts for this Divas match?
Well, the American Dream thinks that my crazy son Goldust is going to run down to the ring and pin both of them at the same time, breathe in deeply, and then bite their heads off. That's the American Dream prediction, not the Dace man.
I would watch it. Would that be the new Dusty finish?
Well, exactly. Dust them off because the shoulders are getting polka dotted, baby.
Oh, goodness. And Tony Mango?
I'm going to actually go against one of my other predictions that I had before. Again, I thought Brie was going to win, and the more that I thought about it, Natalya should win because she should be the next person that faces AJ. This is going to be the end of the Kaitlyn situation, so they need somebody else, and who the hell else are they really going to push? So they have to put Natalya in there. But I'm actually more excited about whether or not Mark Harris is going to be the referee for this match, and if Natalya does win, if he actually pays attention to the sharpshooter this time.
Did you? I can't believe you actually looked up this referee's name. I can't remember the last time I actually knew what a referee's name was.
Mike Chioda.
Yeah, he's from that pre-age before they shunned the referees and made them feel like total assholes.
Brad Maddox was the last referee I learned.
Oh, true that.
The only reason I know Mark Harris's name is because he bitched about it on Twitter.
Oh, true that.
Yeah, take that, Mark Harris.
And with that, I am going to make it a clean sweep amongst us people who are involved in the fantasy league anyway. I'm also going to go with Natalya. It makes sense. I mean, it seems like Natalya, as you all were saying, is being groomed to be the next person to go against AJ. She's a babyface against the heel champion, AJ, and AJ's certainly not losing her title tonight, so we don't have to worry about that. Natty seems like someone who's being positioned as one of the fan favorites on this Total Diva show between her and that other Funkadactyl. I can never remember their real names. But, yeah, so Natalya for me, and Natalya versus Brie Bella. And with that, I think we're going to wrap up talk about this because I don't think we have tons to say about it. You listeners out there would like to call and tell us your thoughts about this Divas match or any other matches that we're going to be running down tonight. Area code 760-512-7247. Area code 760-512-7247 is the number to call here on Mega Powers Radio to join us here on the Mega Powers Radio SummerSlam pre-show. Biggest party of the summer. I totally just messed that line up. Biggest pre-party of the summer to the biggest party of the summer. Next match we got here. Two best friends, former best friends, collide over one man screwing the other man during a Money in the Bank briefcase matchup. And that pits Damien Sandow, the current Money in the Bank holder, going against Cody Rhodes. Now, this is one of the first, I believe you guys mentioned this on Smack Talk, one of the first mid-card matches we've seen that actually has this build of momentum going into it. Because you look at all these other mid-card matches, they're more just things that were thrown together in the last week or two, even though we had a significant amount of time between Money in the Bank and this pay-per-view. Everything was really rushed. This match, though, I mean, if you really want to go back and look at it, has been building for the last 2-3 years. So, go around the horn here and get your thoughts for this match. Burhan, you may go first.
Okay, in terms of storylines, I think that they've done a hell of a great job with this. It's a shame that they don't put the briefcase on the line because I really want to see Cody get that briefcase. I believe he still will in the end. In terms of, say, who's going to win, I'm going to go with Sandow. And reason being is because Cody Rhodes has had a bit of a win streak on build to this match. I don't think Cody's going to win it. I think Sandow's going to win it. Or if Cody does it, it might be something of a quick finish. No, Sandow. No, I'm going with Sandow. Sandow's going to win it, and he's going to brag.
Okay. We're bringing on another person into the show here, a very common person we have here on Mega Powers Radio, Mr. Drew White, the Bounce House Prince. Drew, welcome to Mega Powers Radio. Welcome to the SummerSlam pre-show. We're talking about Cody Rhodes versus Damien Sandow. What's your thoughts for this match?
Well, it's a match. I can promise you that much. But let's see. I'm gonna agree with Burhan on this. I'm gonna go with the man Damien Sandow, mainly because I believe, Cody has had the upper hand for a while now, and I think this is gonna lead into something at Night of Champions. So I'm gonna go with Damien Sandow now, and then we're gonna see what happens from here.
Booking 101 dictates that if someone's had the upper hand for so long in terms of a face, the heel's gonna make the win.
Oh, goodness gracious. Shaun, your thoughts of Sandow versus Rhodes?
I'm actually hoping Vicky Guerrero is going to do something backstage and put the briefcase on the line, and then Cody Rhodes is going to win. If not, I reckon Sandow is going to win.
Okay. You got Sandow for the win there. Mr. Dace, your thoughts?
The American Dream's got to go with his son, baby. Cody Rhodes is going to take this, and what I'm thinking is, and this will lead to my prediction for later on, Del Rio retains, and we may see a program between Cody and Del Rio.
All right. Mr. Mayhew, your thoughts?
Well, this is where I kind of differ. I think Cody's going to win this first match here because there is nothing on the line. And if he beats Sandow, wouldn't that mean he kind of has an opportunity to go after the briefcase for later on? I mean, if it was just up for grabs right away, what did he do to earn it? You know what I mean? If he beats Sandow here, it could build for something else at Night of Champions. So I think he's going to get the first win on this paper, whether there's something on the line or not. Sandow is for sure losing this first match. I'm fairly certain of that for this card anyway. But yeah, it's brilliant that we're getting this mid-card feud that's been building for like one pay-per-view to the next. I can't remember the last time there was a program like this between two stars that weren't main eventers, but has been having a decent amount of build from like one show to the other. I really can't remember the last one. We can hope for more of them, though.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you, man. Probably something involving like Dolph Ziggler
and Zack Ryder. Woo, woo, woo.
Okay, that's
know
wishful thinking.
It's the first time Zack Ryder's probably been mentioned this year on any of our shows.
Well, without the word versus catering.
Very true. Tony Mango, your thoughts for Rhodes versus Sandow?
Well, speaking on the Zack Ryder versus catering thing, I'd rather see Ryback versus catering, but Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow. I got to go with Cody Rhodes here. I'm going to echo the same kind of thought process that Braeden had said. I think that when Night of Champions comes along, we're going to see a rematch between these two and the Money in the Bank briefcase on the line. There was rumors that, and of course this is all the scoops kind of stuff, that they were going to do that for SummerSlam, but I think that they probably realized that they had enough going for SummerSlam as it is and they didn't need it. Night of Champions, if we don't have John Cena, we don't have a couple other people that might be taking some time off, Brock Lesnar's not going to be a part of it and all that, they're going to need to throw a lot onto that card. And it's obviously not as big of a deal anymore when you don't have as many championships. So if you don't have other championships to defend, Money in the Bank is a good thing to defend. And the only way you can do that match is to have Cody win here, justify his thought of that you stole it from me at Money in the Bank. Because if Sandow wins, then he won at Money in the Bank. He proved that he's better than Cody at SummerSlam. And where do you take the feud from here? But if you make it so Cody wins, then suddenly he's got some justification to say, look, that is my Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm going to challenge you for it and then lose. So Cody Rhodes wins here tonight. Clean.
Okay. I am actually totally on board with your thought process of having to make this set up for a briefcase match at Night of Champions. I think that's great. However, I'm seeing a little bit differently, and I'm seeing that Sandow is actually the person who needs to get the win here. However, it should be in some sort of fluky manner. It should be from a roll-up, or it should be from some kind of interference with a weapon or even an outside party. However they want to figure that out, that's fine. This way, Cody can say, well, you didn't truly beat me. However, Sandow is going to be, well, I did. And Sandow's going to be so confident that he got this victory over Cody Rhodes that when Cody challenges him at Night of Champions for the briefcase, Sandow will just be like, yeah, of course. I beat you before, I could beat you again. And then that sets up his own demise of his too much confidence for himself, where he will go into that match and lose it cleanly to Cody Rhodes. So yeah, that's my thoughts for that. Damien Sandow, pretty varied opinions on that one. For the most part, we've all been mostly on agreement for these matches, but Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes splitting us down the middle, and I always like to see that when we get to see different viewpoints of what we think is going to happen in a match. And if this week's Smack Talk, Jester did send me his decisions. Yes, I did. Let me catch up with what Chris Jester, who unfortunately could not be with us here tonight, sent me in the decisions that he wants to be officially part of this draft. So far, he has Dean Ambrose to win the pre-show, Brie Bella will defeat Natalya, and Cody Rhodes to win this match. Miguel and Brandon did not get their picks to me. So Miguel and Brandon, unless they're going to be calling in to get those to me while the show is active, will be forfeiting their decisions.
Wah, wah, wah.
But hey, that's better for the rest of us. Woo, exactly.
If you want, I'll make it for them.
All right, so for Brie and Natalya, for Brie and Natalya, we have someone coming down and butting their heads off. Goldust, I believe you said it was. Well, if that happens, we'll give them the points. Next match we got here is the mixed tag. We have Dolph Ziggler teaming up with Kaitlyn to go against a team of Big E, Langston, and AJ Lee. No titles on the line here, nothing truly extravagant. This is more just bringing together a bunch of feuds they've been building up over the past few months into a big match here. And I'm pretty torn on this, I got to say. I think Big E, Langston's rising star is something you certainly can't ignore. AJ Lee, without a doubt, the top diva in the company right now. Kaitlyn's stock is plummeting faster than ever. Dolph Ziggler just seems like this guy's never going to get that solid main event spot that it always seems like he's just on the cusp of getting, but just keeps getting dropped down. I mean, geez, just a few months ago, we saw him trading that Money in the Bank, win the World Heavyweight title, and now this is where he is. Really a fall from grace. So let's go around the table here, guys. Get your thoughts for this matchup. We'll start with Tony.
I'm about 50-50 on this. I'm really kind of struggling. I really want Dolph and Kaitlyn to win, and gun to my head, I'll pick them. But as I said on Smack Talk, I think that this is exactly the type of match where Dolph and Kaitlyn should win, so WWE won't do it. They've proven that in the past that they can sometimes just do something that's completely illogical and makes absolutely no sense for the fuck of it. And I think this could be a situation where they do that, and then because a lot of people, and people are, I'm sure, going to echo us later on if they pick the opposite route, but there's going to be this idea that if you have Kaitlyn lose to AJ, that completely throws Kaitlyn out there and she's got nothing else to do. But she doesn't really need to do anything else because AJ is the champion. She's the one that everybody's going to focus on. So they could give that to her by having her win that. I don't think Big E's pinning Dolph at all. But gun to my head, I got to say Kaitlyn gets the pin on AJ.
Oh, okay. So Tony Mango's got Kaitlyn and Ziggler. Sounds like he's cutting that a little bit there. You okay, Tony?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So we'll move on then to Christopher Dace right by his side there. What's shaking, Chris? What do you think about Dolph Ziggler and Kaitlyn against Big E and AJ?
Sorry, I got distracted by Shawn Michaels' beard. The pre-show's on right now. It's glorious. Look at it. Look at that thing. Look at Santa with a crossbow. Oh, sorry. Distracted by that beard. I really think it's going to be Ziggler and Kaitlyn getting the win. AJ's just been messing with her way too much, so I feel like it's going to be in Ziggler and Kaitlyn's corner. He's talking and the beard's moving. I can't stop looking at it.
Did you hear that HBK now stands for Harry Boar Killer?
Sounds about right. I mean, look. Oh my God, that thing is glorious.
Shaun, your opinions on this mixed tag match?
I reckon Kaitlyn's going to pick up the pin, and then I'm going to steal Christian's catchphrase here, and they're going to have one more match at Champions, and then it's done.
Gosh, I hope not. Braeden?
Just all signs point to Kaitlyn pinning AJ and giving her the win without having her win the Divas title. So they can both move on to separate sort of stuff. That's what this dictates. I'm sure that's what's going to happen, but you can never be too sure. But as Tony said, if you had to make a prediction, I got to go with the babyface team winning this match tonight.
All right, Drew White?
Well, see, the thing is, I don't like this idea that Kaitlyn should take the pin on AJ, mainly because it'll set up another match in Night of Champions, because she did pin the champion fair and square and cleanly. I highly doubt it's going to be clean. This match is probably going to be like, hey, I'm going to punch someone in the face every 5 seconds. But anyways, I'm going to go with Kaitlyn and Dolph Ziggler winning with Kaitlyn getting the pin on AJ.
All right, Mr. Burhan.
This is another match I could really care less about. In terms of this match, I'll say Dolph over Big E.
All right. Dolph and Kaitlyn. So I am actually going to be the one person who separates out of at least the people who are in the Fantasy League. I am going to be voting for Big E, Langston, and AJ Lee. Now, I get when you finish up a story, generally you want the babyface to be the one that comes out on top. But there's no reason for Kaitlyn to be on top. There's no reason for her to get this win. This feud needs to end now, not a month from now, not on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. It needs to end now. I am sick and tired of seeing these two girls together. I get it, they're besties and all that good stuff, and they had a decent match at Payback or wherever it was. In the past, it's over. Finish it. Now, the pin definitely has to happen between the ladies because Big E and Dolph, they need to continue their thing. They need to go on for at least another couple months figuring out what they're going to do. So I'm sure we'll see a lot of interaction with those guys in this match, but the focus of this will probably fall on Kaitlyn and AJ for the little bit of time that it is going to be there. And with that, I think AJ will end up getting victorious, proving herself once again that she is the dominant female in WWE, and then go on to do whatever she's got to do with Natalya. So, Big E and AJ for me in this mixed tag match. So next, we're going to take a trip down to hell, and it's a Ring of Fire match. I wasn't talking about the Divas match. We already talked about those.
Oh, damn. I missed that. I guess I must have missed that match.
We did. You have thoughts about Natalya and Brie you want to shoot out there?
I don't care. Just kidding.
Okay. So we're going to have the first ever Ring of Fire match between Kane and the debuting Bray Wyatt. Well, we've seen him before, but the wrestling debut of Bray Wyatt. And there was a period there where we were worried if Bray was even going to be wrestling at all, if he was just going to be this leader of the other two guys who'll be doing all the wrestling for him. But, yeah, we're going to see it. Bray Wyatt in a wrestling ring, surrounded by fire. Now, the key of this match is not to get caught on fire, as we have seen in Inferno matches in the past. This is going to be a match where you either get pinned or submitted, with the fire on the ring acting more like a steel cage, where it's meant to keep people out of the ring, which we'll see if that's as effective as a steel cage normally is at doing that. Go around the horn here, guys. See what your thoughts is for this match. Drew White, your thoughts of Kane and Bray Wyatt in a Ring of Fire match.
Okay, I might have missed this, but did you mention that the objective of this match is to get a pin or submission, not catch the other person on fire?
Correct.
Okay, make sure, because I must have missed that. But this is a match where you're surrounded by fire, and you got a guy named Kane who's always on fire, but not really on fire, but he's from hell. It's a debut of Bray Wyatt. I think it's pretty simple. You go with Bray Wyatt with the win. Otherwise, this makes no goddamn sense. So, yeah, we're going to go with Bray Wyatt with the W here today.
All right. Mr. Burhan, your thoughts for this?
And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring. I just want that to happen as soon as they light it up. Just in terms of who wins, I'm going with Bray Wyatt strong in regards to his debut. If he loses to Kane, it's kind of going to put a hinder in the works for the group. In terms of the match, I could probably see Kane setting something alight. Hopefully not his balls, but something. Yeah,
we'll see like a straw hat or Hawaiian shirt or maybe like a sheet mask or something like that.
Yeah, there's something's going to be set alight in this match. But in terms of the match itself, Bray Wyatt's going to get the win. Something's going to happen. Either there's going to be something that will cost Kane this match, so that Wyatt can actually get the pinfall on him.
All right, Braeden, your thoughts for this Ring of Fire match? I know you're a huge Bray Wyatt fan.
No, I am, and I just think it's kind of awesome that they're heating up the feud this quickly. I guess when you have a feud between a character you want to get over like this against kind of an established crazy character for years who's been around like Kane, you kind of have to do something big. And they already got the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view and all this sort of stuff, all these gimmick pay-per-views, so they had to really kind of go out of left field to pick out something that's going to make the match stand out. And they're doing a good job of it. It's got an awesome buzz around it, and of course the family itself. And I think you got to keep that momentum going. I believe Bray Wyatt will get the win here, for sure.
All right, Mr. Dace.
I'm definitely going to go with Bray Wyatt because See No Evil 2 is coming out soon. That's my logic.
Very simple. Mr. Walker.
I completely forgot this was on the card, to be honest, and I'm going to go with the Wyatt.
Have you not been into the whole Wyatt family thing that's been going on?
Well, it's just the same promos over and over again, apart from the last two Raws, hasn't it? Really, and this Ring of Fire match has only happened 2 weeks ago. It was announced, so that's why I completely forgot about it.
I guess that's fair. Tony Mango, your thoughts about this Ring of Fire match?
All right, simple suggestion. I would say Bray Wyatt wins. I kind of don't see the point in having Kane win. He will take time off for See No Evil, as people mentioned before, and he needs to get burned, and they need to use the fire to light the lantern and leave, and they need to look strong. Bray Wyatt needs to not only win this because of the two other people. It needs to be a Bray Wyatt win. And then the other two, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, need to be there to beat Kane down to the point where he is, lifeless or whatever, and then they set him on fire and all that. I don't want to see Bray Wyatt's debut get tainted by, outside interference and all that. He's a heel, sure, but he should also be a threatening heel, and you can't be a threatening heel if you can only win because of other people. So far, they haven't done that with him, so I don't think that they necessarily will, but Husky Harris, Duke, or Alex, or Wyndham Rotunda, Axel Mulligan, whatever you want to call him, he should come out of this on top.
Axel Mulligan?
Yeah.
I
He went by that name at some point. I don't remember. I think it might have been like the very beginning of FCW or something like that. But
I actually kind of like that name, Axel Mulligan.
he could team up with Curtis Axel. They could be like a dual Axel or something.
Goodness gracious. All right, well, I am going to make this a clean sweep. I am also going to go with Bray Wyatt. You really just don't lose on your debut. I mean, nobody does ever, except for like Barry Horowitz or Evan Bourne, sure. I guess it's not completely out of the question, but what does Kane gain from that? You know, Kane's not going to be going into a world title feud. I mean, maybe if Daniel Bryan wins and they want to have him go against Daniel Bryan, I guess that could happen. They could do a one-off Kane-Daniel Bryan match for the title, but I just can't see it. There's no reason Kane should be winning this match. I'm sure it'll be fun. It'll probably have some type of shenanigans involved with it. I think we will see Rowan and Harper find a way to get into that ring. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe they'll take like some kind of blanket and throw it over where the fire is so they can roll in, or maybe they'll just try to get in and ended up catching their nasty-ass, dirty wife beaters on fire or something. But yeah, Bray Wyatt, clean sweep for this. Everyone's going with Wyatt, which means that Kane will probably win, just to piss us all off. I don't know if you guys saw, you know, there's been that story that's been going on about that guy who's been releasing WWE results.
Yeah, he's basically like, I forget his username, but the WWE.com actually talked about him being like, they might have like a modern day Nostradamus talking about their product on, was it Reddit or something like that?
It was Reddit, yeah. He made a post and for this pay-per-view, and he actually said Kane is the one to win this.
Did he give any reason why, or did he just say Kane's going to win and Brie Bella's going to win, and like, you know?
I don't think he ever gave reasons, did he? I think he just always just posted the winners. And he had a lot of weird suggestions for who was going to win. He said Sandow was going to win. He said RVD was going to win, as in he was going to win the title. He said Christian was going to win, which we'll talk a little bit more about that after this. And he said Kane was going to win this match. I was like, there's no way that all of these are right. And I know that's been his track record. He's been 100% right with a lot of these. I can't see it. I just can't see it.
I think he got the last two pay-per-views in a row, Payback and Money in the Bank, 100% correct. So I can't see that happening here, but my goodness, if he's right.
I just thought that was kind of fun, worth mentioning. Just I don't want to give the guy too much exposure, but just the fact that he's putting Kane as the favorite to win in this, and with the record the guy has, it's kind of hard to ignore that. So, moving on then. If any of y'all want to come and you want to talk about the Ring of Fire match or any other matches that are going to be happening on SummerSlam this evening, pay-per-view starting in a little bit less than 50 minutes, call in to join us here on the Mega Powers Radio pre-show to SummerSlam, area code 760-512-7247. That's area code 760-512-7247. Next match we're going to be talking about, guys, is for the World Heavyweight title. It's one more match for Christian to challenge against Alberto Del Rio for the title. Christian found himself into this match by winning a triple threat match with Randy Orton and Rob Van Dam, and pretty much just weirdly got himself inserted into this. Really no, slight build for Christian to find his way into redemption of winning the title, but hey, here we are, and this is one of our big matches for SummerSlam. Alberto Del Rio and Christian. Go around and get your guys' thoughts on it. Drew White, what do you think about Del Rio and Christian?
Well, like you said, it was kind of just thrown together a while ago, and not much has really been built towards it. But like I said, it's one more match for Christian, but Alberto Del Rio is going to win, and the snooze fest on SmackDown will continue.
Fair enough. Shaun?
I'm hoping that fella is right about Christian winning. I swear to God, if Alberto Del Rio wins, I will rip out my hair. I am fed up of this Mexican. He is so boring and dull. He makes my eyes bleed. He really does. I turn the telly off every time he's on my telly. I'm sorry.
I didn't know Mexicans were such a problem in England. Burhan.
Well, apparently because I'm Spanish, we should be voting for Del Rio, shouldn't I? But no, I'm going with Christian. I hope one more match. I really hope that Christian gets the title, because Del Rio's snore fest of a reign needs to be over and done with.
Braeden?
Wouldn't it be nice if Christian won? But Edge isn't retiring this time, everybody. Let's just keep that in mind. The only time he wins titles is when Edge is retiring and when he needs to keep a program with Randy Orton going. This has neither of them involved. So it'll be a good match. Christian and Del Rio have really good chemistry. So even though there's a lack of story in it, I know that the match is going to be good because I've seen them have pay-per-view quality matches before. It should be no different here. Now, even if they have 10 minutes, they're going to make that 10 minutes worth it. Del Rio's going to retain, but I'm actually looking forward to the World Heavyweight title match at SummerSlam. Should be good.
Brian, I'm sorry, what did you say? You said Christian?
I did.
Okay. All right, that in there. Christopher Dace, please let us what you know. Please let us know what you think about the World Heavyweight title match.
Well, I got an inside scoop, so I really think it's going to be Ricardo Rodriguez wins. That's what I'm just saying. You heard it here first. Ricardo Rodriguez, next WHC.
You think he's going to get inserted as a surprise third person, make it a triple threat?
Absolutely. I think he's going to drag Brad Maddox out here because he really wants to ref, and then have him count the pin. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to be, well, whatever he would want to do, but he will be the World Heavyweight Champion.
Do you think he'll come on using a bicycle?
He's got a bicycle. He's going to run down there with a little bucket on his handle, and he's going to get in the ring and smack Del Rio in the head. Honestly, I think, to be completely serious, I really think Rodriguez is going to cost Del Rio the match, and Christian's going to win.
So not a bad thought. Tony?
I think everybody's they're underestimating Christian. He is the perfect man and totally at the top here when it comes to filler. There's no chance whatsoever for him to win. Del Rio's going to retain this easily. It'll be a back and forth match, but Christian actually has no shot whatsoever. This is pointless, kind of. I don't even think that they're going to have a rematch when it comes to Night of Champions. I think they're going to move on to something else. This is a way to get Christian on the card and not do RVD versus Alberto Del Rio, because there were the rumors before that Christian was going to face Dean Ambrose, and what's the likelihood that they just switched the two of these as opposed to that they really wanted to have Christian in it. This is going to be a tap out for Christian. He's won everything coming up until this match, and WWE logic means that he has to lose. So, Del Rio, 100%, he makes him tap out.
I think the perfect words that you just used there was that Christian is perfect filler. And I think that's exactly what he is. He's just another opponent for Alberto Del Rio to have at a big pay-per-view. He's a big name. He's an established guy. He's a former World Heavyweight Champion in his own right. I just don't think he has a snowball's chance in hell in this match. The only thing that's kind of lurking is what Chris Dace brought up, which was Ricardo Rodriguez. We may see him get involved in this match, and he could cost Del Rio. I just don't think that's going to happen yet. I think he's going to cost Del Rio the title another time because I think Ricardo's still going to be out with injury. I don't think we're going to see him pop up again for a little bit. But I'm really torn. I'm going to go with Del Rio just because I think Del Rio is going to get sort of the CM Punk treatment where they're going to extend his title out for a long time, but only because they want it to be a lengthy title reign to mean more when he passes it on to somebody else. And who that someone else is, I can't possibly say. Cody Rhodes is the big name everyone wants to throw out there. Could be him, maybe a returning Sheamus when he's ready. I don't know, but retain for Del Rio here at SummerSlam. I can't see any possible way that Christian will get that other than Rodriguez. If this was just a straight-up match, Del Rio's got him 10 out of 10 times.
Absolutely.
So, with that, we got two more matches to talk about, guys, before we settle ourselves down and get ready to watch SummerSlam. Next match we got is the Best versus the Beast, as it's being billed. CM Punk, the best in the world, going against Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman in his corner. And Paul Heyman, of course, is going to be the odd element in this. Paul Heyman being CM Punk's former manager and best friend. And this has gotten pretty personal. And the only thing that kind of throws me off about this match is that there's no gimmick to it. Every match we've seen Brock Lesnar be in since his return has been at the least an Extreme Rules match, if not something else more on top of that. If this is just a basic one-on-one, maybe we'll see this end with a DQ, which I think would just be the absolute worst possible thing they could do, but the option is there. Let's go around. Tony, your thoughts? Tony?
Well, you know what? I don't think that there's any questioning this. I think that Brock Lesnar's winning. Punk will look strong in the process, and he'll get a lot of shots in there, but it'll be one of those situations where they kind of I don't want to say the David versus Goliath thing, because it won't be the same thing. It won't be just Punk getting his ass kicked. It's going to be more so Punk is a fireball, and Brock Lesnar can stop him until they reach a point where it's just like, all right, that's too much for him. Punk will look good, but he'll lose.
That's fair. Mr. Dace.
Well, I think we're watching the pre-show here, and I'm pretty sure Paul Heyman announced that it will be a no DQ match.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. I think Punk goes over. He's been on a losing streak for a while this year. He's only one pay-per-view against Jericho. And I think he's going to go over, and we won't see Lesnar again until WrestleMania season.
Well, and then what does Punk do from here?
That's a good question. I really don't know what direction they're going to go with Punk. This is kind of a dead end. He's going to either go over Lesnar, or he's going to... I honestly don't know where he's going to go with it, unless he puts over someone like Sandow.
That's not a bad idea. Tony, you want to shoot that one out there you just said?
What I just put in the chat here is, what if Punk faces Axel for the Intercontinental title at Night of Champions?
Because Axel's been kind of the quiet guy through this whole thing. I mean, he's made a couple appearances coming out to the aid of Paul Heyman, but we haven't really... They could have put a lot more shine on him throughout this feud. You know, they could have been like, oh, there's also this guy, Curtis Axel, who's involved. Instead, it's just like, oh, there's that bearded guy that hangs out with Paul Heyman.
But he could be the factor that causes the match for Punk tonight. If it is a no DQ match, then why not have him come out and put a 2-on-1 kind of situation? Maybe he comes out and Punk's starting to gain some steam, and Brock Lesnar's got his back against the corner, and then there comes Curtis Axel to jump Punk, and then Brock Lesnar hits his F5, and that's all he wrote. That would set up the Intercontinental title match.
Shaun?
I was going to say that Curtis Axel was going to screw CM Punk, and then Brock Lesnar and CM Punk were going to have a cage match at Survivor Series.
Okay.
Maybe. That's what I'm hoping for, anyways.
That's
cage match at Survivor Series. I'm hoping.
Clearly viable. I mean, it really does make sense to put Brock Lesnar in a cage with his UFC experience. You know, he's an animal, so you got to cage an animal and all that whatnot. Braeden, Mayhew, your thoughts on this match?
I'm fairly certain Lesnar's going to win. Whether it's a mercy killing or not, like I originally thought it was going to be, like shades of the original Cena match when Lesnar came back, just minus the Punk coming back to win in the end. I don't know if it's going to be that bad of a beating, but he's certainly going to be made out a lot weaker against Brock than, say, Triple H was for the last 3 matches in a row. I don't know if it's going to be as much of a beatdown, but Brock is certainly going to have, play the bigger role. He's going to beat him down. Punk's going to kind of be the face that the fans get behind, because they really want to see him get back and fight, but he's just going to get taken down until Lesnar eventually just finishes him off. And then we probably won't see Brock until WrestleMania season, because that's what happened with him last year, so I assume they're going to use him in a similar role. Whatever Punk does after this is up for creative, unfortunately, to come up with. But, I say Punk is going to lose to Lesnar here tonight.
All right, Drew White?
I'm not a big fan of this match. I'm glad that this match is happening, but since they never added a stipulation to it, it just feels awkward, because it just feels weird that it's now for sure that Punk has no chance of winning unless it's by outside interference. But who's going to come to the aid of Punk? No one. And I say this because there's no way in hell Punk's going to win this match. Now there's no stipulation, because what is Punk going to do to Brock Lesnar to keep him down? And that's the big thing that keeps me from really getting emotionally invested in this. But I do see it as a good match for maybe match at night, depending on how Cena and Bryan go. But I see this more of Punk getting in a few good shots, and every time Lesnar goes to hits a big move on him, Punk just no-sells the hell out of it and just gets up and starts beating on Brock again, and just that happening over and over again until Lesnar just hits him with an F5, and I see it going more like that.
Okay, and Mr. Burhan?
I'm going with Punk because I like to be different. And it's also the fact that he's been beaten down by Lesnar a hell of a lot. I don't see him losing this. I see Lesnar losing this and taking time off. I don't see Punk losing this. I see Punk winning this even if it's by a smidge. Lesnar continuously looking strong, and then literally going insane on it.
And let's not forget, for our WrestleMania predictions contest, you're the man who decided to pick The Rock to win the main event against John Cena at WrestleMania this year, which would, of course, be the wrong answer. But you still won the predictions contest.
I did.
So maybe this will still work out for you. I'm going with Lesnar. The moment I heard people even talking about this match earlier this year, when people were trying to figure out who potential opponents for Brock Lesnar could be, I did not like it from the start. I mean, it's just such a mismatch. And yes, I know we've had things like Rey Mysterio against the Big Show in the past and all that. I don't know why, but it's different. And that's probably because it's Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar isn't just big, but he's big, strong, fast. He is just one of the scariest dudes of all time. And to put him in there with a skinny little chump like CM Punk, I just don't buy it. I don't get it. Skinny fat, yeah. He's got that belly and a little bit of flab on him, and he's gotten better at that. I'm not trying to make fun of CM Punk. CM Punk does a lot for his size. I get he's the Muay Thai expert. The way they've been booking him through this build-up the last few weeks, where Brock will usually take him down with a big move, but then Punk will always find a way to get up and jump on him and lay in a few more punches. I really hope that's not how this match ends up being. I hope this match ends up being exactly the way it should. Brock Lesnar just kicking the ever-loving shit out of CM Punk.
The thing is, if you do it this way, what does Lesnar have to gain out of this?
Lesnar being a big name. I mean, Lesnar right now has an even record of wins and losses since he's come back. He needs to have more wins. He needs to be one of those big-name attractions that comes through once in a while and just dominates. He needs to be a modern-day equivalent of Andre the Giant. That's what Brock Lesnar should be.
He dominates and goes away. That's the problem. He's a part-timer.
So?
If he was a full-time contracted wrestler with the company, I would say yes. But at the moment, they need somebody to fill that spot in the world title picture, and the best person to do so would probably be Punk. So in order for Punk to stay strong, they need to give him this win. I know most people will be like, yeah, but it doesn't look real. We're in the world of wrestling. Nothing's real. Everything's storylines and the small guy versus the big guy, the Jake and the Giant Slayers, the David and Goliaths.
Well,
would be go on, Paden.
I don't think Punk is going to be sticking around for very long after this match either. Punk is still hurt. You can see it in the way he walks. He's still hurt. And yeah, he's been hurt more through these beatings he's taken by Brock Lesnar. Punk came back way too soon after WrestleMania, and we could talk about why that happened for a myriad of reasons, but he definitely did. And you can see that from the match when he came back. He was out of breath all the time. He was not 100%, and he still isn't. I think if he takes a big beating by Brock Lesnar here, it's an excuse for him to take a little bit more time off, recharge his batteries, get himself fresh when he comes back, and he can return around Survivor Series if they want to do a rematch with him and Brock or whatever they want to do, and maybe he can get his win back then.
You already have John Cena, who's being rumored to take time off. By doing that with Punk and giving him more time off, it's not going to help. He's one of the biggest guys in the company at the moment, besides Cena. Your number two guy. You don't want to get him in this situation. You want to put him in more main event matches. You want to build him up to the point where he's ready for someone like Orton when he does turn heel and take the title. Putting him out of action now would just be stupid and a waste of time on WWE's part. Especially the fact that he came in and he beat Jericho and he's been on a huge hot streak as of late.
Yes.
The fact is, he's won nearly every match that he's been in. I believe every match that he's been in. Punk needs this match. Punk needs the Lesnar rub. And that's one of the reasons why Lesnar's here. He's not there to be like the big man. He's there to trade wins of guys and elevate certain wrestlers. The reason why he got his payback from Triple H was because of the fact that, Triple H isn't a full-time wrestler in himself. He doesn't need that sort of rub. But in terms of Punk, he does. And you're building towards the company's future. By taking him off of TV now, you might as well have not brought him back in the first place.
Well, see, I think Punk is at that stage of his career where he's sort of Teflon. He could take a loss, especially to a guy like Brock Lesnar, and it's not going to hurt him all that much. It's the same thing as when he lost to The Undertaker. Do people really look at CM Punk in a less light because he lost to The Undertaker? Of course not.
Yeah, but on the same level, it's at this point in time, I see big things coming for Punk. I see him getting re-elevated back into the title scene. I don't see him taking a loss here. If he takes a loss here and Lesnar totally destroys him, then there's no, Punk will have to wait a while and come back to get his return match with Lesnar, which is something that we don't want. He needs to consistently be in the title picture. If they need to sort of get him back into proper ring shape or sort his knee out, he can literally do what Cena's doing at the moment, which is just cut promos until the big match at the pay-per-view, which is something that I prefer, but I don't see them taking him off TV or writing him off at this point in time.
I don't think it's their choice. I think he's going to need it. Like I said, he's still banged up. This guy never got to be 100%. He deserves it. He's never taken an extended break throughout his entire career. I mean, that month he got to take off must have seemed like a huge, huge vacation for him with the way the last few years have been for him.
No, I totally agree with you. I think out of everyone, he's worked extremely hard, and he has been the go-to guy for the company, hence the reason why he's never taken freaking time off. Apart from when his knee exploded, and also the win with the Undertaker. But in that whole situation, I still believe that they're going to do a lot more with him. I know he's injured; they'll probably work around it. But in terms of Cena, from what I've been hearing in rumors, he needs that time off now. He needs to heal up and get his. I believe he's got
his elbow,
an elbow injury. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
That needs to be sorted out before it gets worse.
Yeah, because that looks downright disgusting. If you've seen Cena's elbow, I believe he pointed it out on Raw a couple weeks ago. Actually brought the camera right to it. Not looking good.
Yeah, so I believe he's going to take a bit of time off. It could be anything up to 3 months off. So they're going to need Punk. Once Cena's back in the picture, they'll probably will write him off eventually, but not now. I don't see it now. I think the depth of the WWE title picture is too thin. And you're not going to rely on Daniel Bryan versus Orton for the whole 3 months that Cena's away. Not going to happen.
Well, why not?
Because of the fact that it's going to get stale. And I don't mean for Bryan's sake, I mean for Orton's sake. Because Orton just missed the rest holds. It's not going to work.
Well, how about this? You say we should be looking at our future. CM Punk is not the future. Let's be very clear about that. CM Punk is the present on his way out.
No, of course.
Brock Lesnar doesn't need to be putting over guys like Punk. And I don't want to go back and forth about that anymore. We have our opinions on that.
No, that's cool.
Punk, however, is at the point where he should be worrying about putting other people over for the future. And if we want to start building stars for the future, why not do like they did a lot more in the mid-'90s where, okay, we have Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton. Great. They can have their one-off or whatever they got to do for a couple months. But then why not slot Daniel Bryan in there for a one-off with someone else that can make a cool little pay-per-view event like a Dolph Ziggler or a Cody Rhodes or a Damien Sandow or a Sheamus is off the table, so we can't go to him. That's another point. Sheamus is out right now too. So with if we had Sheamus, Punk, and Cena out, that is a big detriment to the scene.
There you go. So they're going to need Punk. By doing what they're doing at the moment, it's not going to work. Not at all. So what they need to do is they need to basically work with Punk and help him in terms of elevating him up.
Well, this is the quietest time of the year. The post SummerSlam to Survivor Series. This is always when you usually either see A, nothing going on, or B, experimental stuff going on.
But so three guys taking time off at the same time, it's not going to happen. It's unprecedented unless they have a backup. So again, we've gone back and forth with this, but we'll see what happens. You could be right or I could be right. Come pay-per-view.
Anyone else want to just chime in on Punk and Lesnar before we finish this up? No? All right.
It's going to be the Wolverine versus the Hulk, hands down.
Who would actually win between Wolverine and the Hulk?
Well, I just think this match is like being geared around that. CM Punk being the Wolverine, Brock Lesnar being Red Hulk. Brock Lesnar will eventually kill him. Bend his adamantium so he can't move anymore.
All right, so let's move on, guys, to the final match of the evening. The main event, John Cena defending his WWE title against Daniel Bryan. Lots of factors that'll be on the outside of this. We'll have Triple H in the middle of the ring being the special guest referee. We'll have Brad Maddox as someone who could be in the wings as someone to worry about. We're going to have both of the McMahons, Vince and Stephanie, as some people that we might have to worry about. Way too many shenanigans in this match for my taste, honestly. I would have rather seen this been a nice, clean, one-on-one contest, but nope, this is going to be Rockin' Austin all over again, or better yet, Austin and Dude Love all over again. Let's go around the horn and get your guys' thoughts for the main event. John Cena versus Daniel Bryan. Let's start with Sean Walker. Sean, your thoughts. Sean's gone. Sean?
I think he's got issues with his mic.
My mic was muted. Sorry, my bad.
No
well, I was actually looking forward to this match until it was announced that Triple H was the referee. Because then what was going through my mind is that Triple H is going to screw Daniel Bryan after the match. He's going to pedigree him. Out comes Randy Orton. And I'm going to have to shave my beard because I got a bet on with my brother that if Daniel Bryan doesn't walk out champion, I got to shave my beard and wax a nipple.
So it's not even just that if he wins the title, you don't have to do it. He has to win the title.
He's got to walk out the champion, yeah.
Now, what if he walks out and then Randy Orton appears on the other side of the curtain with the Money in the Bank briefcase?
Then it still doesn't count. I got to shave my beard.
And that was another factor I didn't even mention. We got Randy Orton floating around somewhere with a Money in the Bank briefcase that could make an appearance in this. Let's go Drew White next. Drew, your thoughts for this main event matchup?
This is, like you said, this is going to be a lot of shenanigans in this match. There's too many outside variables now with Triple H and Vince McMahon and Brad Maddox and everyone else apparently in the company messing around. So, and also, the big thing is it doesn't matter who wins. The bigger question is whether or not Orton was going to cash in that briefcase tonight. And I don't know. And I do recall, like, as soon as he won it, that he was going to cash it in at, like, the least expected time. And I feel like that tonight would definitely not be the least expected time. So I do think that he's going to cash it in because I highly doubt that WWE is going to be going on that logic. But I do have thoughts in my mind that maybe Orton will not cash it in. So just for the sake of keeping this short, I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan gets the W and Orton's going to cash in. But I do have thoughts that Orton's not going to cash it in at the same time. So yeah,
playing it safe there.
Safe, yeah. That's what's up.
Mr. Burhan, your thoughts for this main event matchup?
Mine, I could see Bryan winning, and the reason being, as I said, I've stated before, Cena's not 100%. He's got this elbow problem. They need to sort it out. He's probably going to be appearing on Total Divas with a cast around his arm every 5 minutes, showing his cars. But besides that, I think Bryan's going to win. I would see an Orton full heel turn tonight, either tonight or probably tomorrow on Raw. If I was the WWE, I would leave it till Raw. Did what they did with Triple H, have Orton sort of come out, get his win there. It would mean a lot more than it would at the pay-per-view because everyone wants to see it happen. But I want to see Bryan wins, Orton cash in, and we'll see Orton versus Bryan feud probably for the next month.
All right, Mr. Dace.
Daniel Bryan all the way. Yes.
All right, Mr. Mr. Mayhew, your thoughts?
Well, the one thing that's a big pet peeve of mine is, of course, Triple H made himself the special guest referee, didn't he? I mean, he could have interfered anyway. We know that the three of them who have been running the show kind of stick in their McMahon family drama in the middle of the title program build-up. Well, maybe they were going to show up anyway, so I'm just not a fan of that. I mean, it happened 2 years ago. It reeks of SummerSlam 2011 all over again. And then Bryan wins the title, mainly because of Cena's physical well-being, and then Orton cashes in immediately afterwards. That's what I see happening, honestly. With probably a whole shit ton of interference, a lot that may actually take away from the match.
Oh, God, that's one of my biggest worries. Tony, your thoughts?
All right, I got to go with Daniel Bryan, and I really want him to make Cena tap out. I doubt it'll happen. I think he's going to win by pinfall, some kind of a roll-up or something like that. I'm more so worried about whether or not Triple H is going to fuck this match up, and this could be one of their great moments if they just let Daniel Bryan win clean, and then he leaves with the title. But I think that Triple H is going to get involved. I think Brad Maddox is going to get involved. Vince McMahon is going to get involved. All this is going to be crazy. And Daniel Bryan will win, but he's going to get cashed in on by Randy Orton, and Orton will leave with the title. That way, they can just do Orton and Daniel Bryan at Night of Champions, and either they eventually give the title back to Daniel Bryan at the end of that feud, or they do what we had talked about before, which is they give him the Royal Rumble win, and he wins the title at WrestleMania. But I'm more so worried about how WWE is going to book this. The match should be great, and the ending is going to either make it that much better or fuck the entire thing up. And track record with WWE, I'm worried. I don't know. I'm really I'm crossing my fingers that they're not going to overbook the hell out of it. They're not going to make Triple H too much of a focal point, because they have talked about how they inserted him into this match because it's such an important match and it'll kind of give them the publicity that they need. And it shouldn't be about that. It should be about Daniel Bryan and John Cena. So, prediction-wise, Daniel Bryan wins, but he doesn't leave with the title. The title ends up going with Randy Orton.
All right. Well, that brings it to me, and I got a bit to go through here. So let me just get started here. Yes, we have all these things involved in this matchup, and I think we're going to see them all involved. But there's a way to get them involved and not have it take away from John Cena versus Daniel Bryan. The whole reason we even saw Triple H and the McMahons in general get involved into this, because that's a big storyline and there wasn't really any other way to place a match with it. So they just found their way to finagle it into this match. What I think we may see happening here is Triple H being taken out somehow. Maybe like Daniel Bryan goes to swing a chair at John Cena or something and he hits Triple H with it by accident, or whatever happens. Triple H gets taken out for a little bit. Brad Maddox comes down in a referee shirt, tries to take over as the referee, but eventually when Triple H comes to, pedigrees Brad Maddox is out of the picture. Eventually the match will end with Daniel Bryan winning with the yes lock. And yes, it has to be with the yes lock. It could be with a roll-up, whatever, I guess, but it should be with the yes lock, and it needs to happen tonight. Daniel Bryan needs to become the champion at this pay-per-view. It is the biggest match of his career, as he said. They can't wait on this. They can't do this next year. They can't do it at the Royal Rumble. They can't do it at WrestleMania next year. It needs to be tonight. If they wait too long, they're going to blow it. They're going to lose steam on it. It's not going to be as important. It's the same thing. Best example I can think of this was Goldberg. Goldberg should have won the World Heavyweight title or whatever it was in that match at that the match that he had at that Elimination Chamber matchup. They didn't give it to him. SummerSlam. Yeah, that was at SummerSlam too, wasn't it? But they didn't give it to him there. They waited until the next month to put it on Goldberg, and that was a mistake because it was too late. People were not as behind Goldberg as they should have been. He never really gained that steam that he could have had when he came over into the WWE. With this, the timing is right. It's got to be Daniel Bryan. Now, Randy Orton will come out with that Money in the Bank briefcase. I think it's going to be one of two ways. One, it's just going to be a tease where he's not actually going to cash it in. Maybe they'll make an attempt to show that he's going to, but for one reason or another, maybe Triple H stands in the way because, him and Randy have passed between each other as well, so he can be sort of like, no, you're not taking this moment away from Daniel Bryan. Shoes Randy Orton off. Or, what I could see happening, and I'm going to get really in-depth with this one, because of that point earlier in the match where Daniel Bryan accidentally hit Triple H with a chair, Triple H does not forget. And after the match is over, lays Daniel Bryan out with a pedigree. That's when we get Randy Orton's music comes down. He comes down to the ring, cashes in the briefcase, goes for the pin, but Daniel Bryan kicks out. Randy Orton then goes for an RKO, goes for the pin. Daniel Bryan kicks out. And then Daniel Bryan will slowly start picking up steam again, and this won't be anything quick. This is going to extend into a whole nother match. And this will go on for a while. I'm saying like another 10, maybe even 15 minutes, because Daniel Bryan has displayed that he's the Iron Man through the last few weeks. And at the end, Daniel Bryan will once again get a yes-lock victory over Randy Orton, making two of the company's biggest stars tap out, winning the World Heavyweight title, the WWE title, walking out the champion as the biggest star that he could possibly be made at SummerSlam.
If only this would actually happen.
Well, if I was booking it, that's the way it would, and that's how I predict things possibly going down tonight. Daniel Bryan winning the WWE title in the main event.
I dig it. I think it's actually pretty fucking awesome.
All right, so I guess that wraps up our matches here. So I guess we'll do one more trip around the horn. Tell us what you think about the card overall, if you're excited to watch it, if there's any points where you think you're definitely going to be dropping out, maybe even if you're not going to be watching it at all. And this will be your final thoughts for SummerSlam overall, guys. So we'll go around. Anthony Mango, start us off.
All right, I think that it has the potential to be a really good pay-per-view, but it also has the potential to be completely screwed up, and it all depends on what WWE has planned. They're showing right now in the pre-show that they've got a lot of the same ideas that we were kind of echoing back and forth about the Shield and the RVD, Big Show, Mark Henry situation. So I guess you could give them a credit that they're following what we were sort of expecting, and that they're not going too crazy with it, but they could. And if they do, then there could be a lot of big disappointments. I hope that it's not going to be a disappointment. I think it won't. I think I'll be happy with the pay-per-view. Match of the night, I'm expecting Daniel Bryan and John Cena, and a lot of it hinges on that. So I'm going to go with it'll be a good one.
All right, let's go over to Mr. Dace. Mr. Dace not there, I guess. He did say that Dane
Hey, I'm
Quinn...
here. I'm here.
I'm confused. Dane Quinn is there with you, in the room with you?
Yeah, he's next to me, but I give you my final predictions. This pay-per-view has the potential to fail or the potential to do very well, so don't screw it up, WWE. I'm going to head it over to Dane Quinn now.
All right, we got a guest coming on the show, Dane Quinn. Dane, thanks for joining us here. Your thoughts for SummerSlam, dude?
Oh, guys, can you hear me?
We can hear you great, man.
Oh, great. Big fan. Every time I'm done work Saturday morning, I listen to your guys' show. I love it. It's really good.
Thanks, man.
I just wanted to give a few thoughts about what I think about SummerSlam. First of all, I'm really tired of getting disrespected with all the Christian hate when he is going to become the world heavyweight champion. It's guaranteed. Del Rio's title reign is obviously a failure. It's a way to get Sandow involved without turning on heel on heel, because that won't sell at all. But Christian's going to win. Mark it down, guaranteed. Now with John Cena and Daniel Bryan, I think Daniel Bryan's going to win via roll-up or something like that. I don't think he'll make him tap. John Cena never gives up. It sells. It's been selling for 10 years. This is how it's going to be. So with Triple H, I think Vince McMahon is going to have Randy Orton come down to catch it, and Triple H is going to be like, no. And Daniel Bryan will kick Randy Orton when he doesn't look and scream, no, all the way up to the ramp, past Vince McMahon, and the show will end as Daniel Bryan's the WWE champion.
I like that. What about Brock versus CM Punk? What's your thoughts for that?
I think Brock has to win. He's few and far between, so he's got to look good. CM Punk won't look bad because, Paul Heyman's in the corner of Lesnar, so he's not going to look bad regardless. And plus, Lesnar is the beast, so I actually think they'll have like a rematch at Survivor Series, something like that.
Hey, cool, man. Anything else, Dane?
Just a big fan and looking forward to next week's show.
Awesome, man. We appreciate you joining us here, man. We'll definitely keep that in mind. You're always welcome to call in. We got a call-in number. You can join us on any show. We have shows almost every night of the week here, so always join us, man.
Cool. All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Take care, dude. Shaun, your final thoughts about WrestleMania. Geez, SummerSlam.
WrestleMania was good. Anyways, SummerSlam, it's got a potential to flop or be great. I'm hoping it's going to be great. If it flops, it flops. If it's good, it's good.
Drew?
I know this has been beaten down already, but oh my gosh, okay, sorry, I got distracted. But anyways, I'm gonna go with this could be the potential to be probably the best match of the best pay-per-view of the year, but it could also flop. And yeah.
Braeden?
At the very least, it's going to be good to very good. I think the main disappointing thing is if some booking issues or time issues cause it to not be great. But at the very least, you're going to get a good show. It's a solid card, perhaps one of the best we've had in a while. I expect nothing but a great show.
All right, and Mr. Burhan.
SummerSlam. The thing about SummerSlam, it's one of my favorite pay-per-views in terms of being one of the only WWE major pay-per-views in the UK. So being that, it always has like a special place in my heart. So I'm hoping that this pay-per-view is going to do SummerSlam justice, as it always does, because I've never seen a shitty SummerSlam yet. So hope to God it's going to be great. If not, I'll just cry on my pillow.
We just received breaking news. RVD was speared by Roman Reigns during his match with Dean Ambrose on the Kickoff show, which means myself and Tony Mango start off with 1 point apiece, and Braeden, Mayhew, Michael Burhan, and Chris Jester are all behind because they chose Dean Ambrose.
They might have worth it.
And I like to say something myself. I deserve it. I know I'm not a perfect guy to think, but I deserve 100 points for predicting exactly how it would end. So that's what's up.
And Tony, I believe you're the last one to give us your final thoughts of what might happen for this pay-per-view here. What you think the overall feeling of it is going to be?
I already did.
Oh, you did? Oh, then we covered everybody. Then we just hit the 10-minute mark for what we got left here, so we're going to do one more trip around the horn here, and we're going to let you guys give your final words and plugs of what you want people out there to know about what's going on in your lives. For this, we'll start with Shaun. Shaun, what's good and wonderful in the life of Shaun Walker?
Well, everything. Check me out on fanboysanonymous.com. Check me out on I Got Gameplay. And check me out on Twitter, which is Shaughnessy2K37. Hit me up on that, please.
Fantastic. Drew?
Oh, man. Yeah. Fuck it, I'll do it this time. So if you live in the Indianapolis, Indiana area, and you need a bounce house, because, bounce houses are amazing, especially if it comes from the bounce house prince, soon to be king of the bounce houses, if I may add.
Yo, Drew. When are you going to stop riding the coattails of your parents' success and come up with your own plugs?
I don't know. I came up with these plugs myself. They know I do these plugs, but I told them that I'll come up with what to say. I'm pretty damn good at it. But anyways, if you need a bounce house, call 765-212-1521 or go to BigBlastRentals.com. And yeah, that's about it, because everyone else here is going to say something about Fanboys Anonymous eventually, and that's about it.
All right, Chris Dace.
You can follow me on Twitter at the Dace Man, and you can catch me Wednesday nights on Mega Powers Radio live with the Dace Man Show, 8 p.m.
Mr. Mayhew.
Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to me on Facebook. One username, Spood Beast.
Spooge Beans.
Spooge Beast. Here we go. Can change it up no matter how much I want, but can always parody it. In a very innuendo fashion, mind you. Everybody loves me here.
All right, Mr. Burhan.
As always, you can go to www.youtube.com/TheNerdGenius. Movie Files on hold at the moment due to the fact that the channel has been pushed to having only 15-minute videos, and usually the Movie File videos span up to nearly 20 minutes. But don't worry, there's going to be a few more little shows and bits and pieces that are coming on there. I am hopefully going to be upgrading my equipment as well, so stay tuned for that. www.nerdgenius.com, www.fanboysanonymous.com, and also check me out on smarkoutmoment.com with Tony and everybody else, of course, because I love wrestling, and wrestling's still real to me. Damn it.
That shouldn't go with Smark Out Moment.
Keeping Kayfabe, and also everything else that we do, because I would love to work with these great bunch of people. They are awesome. Everyone has an amazing work ethic, and everyone brings their own very special, unique approach to the table. So, guys, keep with Mega Powers Radio, keep with Fanboys Anonymous, keep with the Mango Tree, and by all means, keep and have faith in the brand that is Michael Burhan.
Believe in Burhan!
Believe in Burhan!
Tony Mango, your final thoughts and plugs for tonight.
All right, as everybody mentioned before, fanboysanonymous.com. We're looking for more writers, so if you're interested in everything geek, send us an email through the contact form there, and you can end up writing for the website. Go to outonlimbs.com for special commentary needs. Go to Bleacher Report and check out the articles I'm going to be writing up for that. I'm going to have 2 up as soon as I get a chance to after the pay-per-view. Smarkoutmoment.com for everybody who wants to check live results going along with the pay-per-view. That's going to be happening concurrently with whatever happens on the pay-per-view. That'll be updated on Smark Out Moment. You got chat on the sidebar right next to it. Go check out youtube.com/SmarkOutMoment for Smack Talk each and every week. And that about does it in for me.
Do you ever get to just, sit and enjoy a pay-per-view anymore?
No, I really don't. It's really a shame. But I'm looking for more writers for Smark Out Moment where people can actually do it for me. So if you want to write, Raw results or SmackDown stuff or TNA stuff, that'd be freaking fantastic. So I don't have to cover it. Go ahead and send me a message on that one. The contact form up on that website. You could be a part of that too.
All right. Well, then I will finish out here, guys. Keep listening to Mega Powers Radio. We got lots of cool things going on here. Almost every night of the week, like I said, we got shows on Monday nights following the conclusion of Monday Night Raw. I know you're all wrestling fans. Why else would you be listening to this? Live here on Mega Powers Radio, we had the Mega Powers Radio Raw post-show as opposed to a pre-show like we did tonight, where we would talk about all the events that just happened on that night's Monday Night Raw, as well as, of course, taking your calls in and getting your thoughts on it. Tuesday Night Geek Speak begins at 8 p.m., features myself, Brandon Ligon, Michael Burhan, whoever else decides to jump on there, and we'll just talk about anything we wanted to in the worlds of geeks, nerds, dorks, and whatever else fits along those lines. Wednesday night, we got the Dace Man Show starting at 8 p.m., where he's going to talk about sports and celebrity news. Thursday night, Keeping Kayfabe, where I come from. Burhan's there as well. Brandon Ligon's with us, and sometimes other people join as well, where we talk more wrestling. But in that case, we talk about wrestling's past. We pick a match from it and feature it, talk about what led to it, what happened in it, what happened after it, all that happy horse shit. Friday night's our night off, but that is when we all gather to record Smack Talk, which you should also be checking out. That's on YouTube, and once in a while he does do a special show here on Mega Powers Radio, so certainly follow that project as well. And Saturday nights, of course, I Got Gameplay with Michael Burhan and whatever other cast of characters decide to go on there. I'm on there a lot of times. Shaun's on there a lot of times. I believe Dace was on this week. You never know who might show up on there. Braeden's been on there a number of times as well. Drew, you haven't been on I Got Gameplay yet, have you?
No, I was on there once. I had to do the production, not this time.
Oh, that's right. I was there for that, and you messed it up by ending the show too early.
No, Miguel told me to do it. I didn't do it. He told me to do it. I was like,
the last thing I heard on that show was Burhan's going to kill me.
It got off. Yeah, lots of cool stuff, though, going here on Mega Powers Radio, guys. MegaPowersRadio.com. As far as me personally, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram under the handle MrPaden. That's Mr. Paden. I am also a writer, like everyone else here, for FanboysAnonymous.com. My big running article that I have now is the hottest cosplays of Jessica Nigri. So if you like beautiful blonde women in nerdy costumes, go and check that out because there's lots of those sitting on FanboysAnonymous.com, as well as the archived editions of Geek Speak and the Dace Man Show will be appearing on there as well. So there's a bit of synergy between Fanboys and Mega Powers Radio. And for that, I guess that's how we're going to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you for listening to us here on Mega Powers Radio. SummerSlam pre-show. We're going to get ready to watch the SummerSlam. Sit ourselves down, grab a beer, grab some popcorn, grab a root beer in my case because I don't drink. So for Chris Dace, for Anthony Mango, for Shaun Walker, for Braeden Mayhew, for Drew White, for Michael Burhan, I'm Mike Paden. Thanking everyone joining me here. Thank you guys for hosting the show with me. It was really fun. Thank you everyone for listening. We'll see you next time here on Mega Powers Radio.
It's summertime, and you know what that means. Gonna head out to the beach, gonna do some beachy things. It's summertime, feels just right. Gonna gather all my friends and we'll party through the night. Summertime, love it, the loving in the summertime. Summertime, I love it, my baby, why can't you be mine? It's summertime, and I just can't wait. Gonna call you on the phone, gonna take you on a date. It's summertime, and I hope you like steak. Gonna take you to a restaurant and eat enough to late. It's summertime.